Greetings, and welcome to the 187th episode of Spooky Reviews from Spooky Ventures. I'm Gary Hill, and I'm both your host and reviewer. This time around, I'm looking at a DVD release of a 2020 movie called The Rental. Now, this movie is being billed as quote, a lean and brutal Psycho for the Airbnb era. We're big fans of the whole Psycho series in this house, so that definitely drew us in. Honestly, I don't think that's a very good comparison at all. Psycho is much richer, and it has a lot more suspense than this movie ever pulls together. Beyond that poor comparison, though, this definitely has its charms. A group made up of a husband and wife, the husband's brother, and the brother's girlfriend, who also happens to be the business partner of the husband, all rent an Airbnb for a getaway. Now, a lot of the movie centers around their interpersonal relationships, and they are messy. And while that's actually pretty interesting, it's not really horror movie material, and it really doesn't do much to add to the suspense. Some of it definitely feeds into the plot and is necessary, but I also think it gets a little dull and causes the movie to lag in the first parts. Once it turns the corner into horror, it really works well, but so much of the movie has gone by before that happens. I just think there's a real problem with pacing for a horror or even a suspense film. It also suffers from some scenes that are so dark you can't really tell what is happening. Now, one of the things they get right is misdirection. There are several things that you think might be important or foreshadowing something that never pan out. It's not a lack of consistency, but rather the opposite. It's a case of making you look in one direction so you won't see what the other hand is doing. I think that works really well here. The filmmakers did an excellent job of that. Once it does turn brutal, it does so in a big way. There isn't a lot of graphic gore or brutality on camera, but there is plenty of it implied and suggested. And having it implied and suggested is sort of a link to Psycho, I suppose. At least the first movie. I'm sure that helped them keep the budget low, too, by having it off the camera. But it also just works well. Overall, I think the movie is pretty effective. You do have to sit through quite a bit of slower stuff to get to the payoff, but it's mostly worth it. I also think the comparison to Psycho just doesn't do the film any favors. This works on its own merit, but that really sets the bar so high that it's doomed to fall short of that comparison. There aren't a lot of bonuses here, and what ones are on the disc didn't really grab me. I don't generally buy movies for the bonuses, though, so that's not a big deal. Overall, this is an entertaining film. It just has its drawbacks, including being a little slow in the beginning. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.